Hello.
And welcome to the show.
First, we have some very exciting news. We went to a taping of the new American Top Gear series at a secret location in the California desert.
This turned out to be a big hangar at the former El Toro Marine Air Corps station just off the I-5 freeway near Irvine, California.
Before we went in, we were all sworn to total secrecy about this new series. We weren't allowed to take cameras, or cell phones, or any recording devices into the taping.
In fact, the guy in front of me tried to take a digital camera in there, and was immediately assassinated by a sniper.
So we made our excuses, pretended to go to the bathroom, and put our spy gear back in the car.
We can tell you a few things about the new series without giving too much away. History Channel have purchased 10 episodes. It will feature cars. More than one, actually.
Also, there are 3 brand new hosts and the Stieg, who can apparently violate the laws of time and space, and appear in more than one place at a time. We'll get to the hosts in a minute.
From what I saw, and this is in my humble opinion, the new show features the same beautiful cinematography that we've come to know from the British series. It has the same editing sensibilities, and the same musical tapestry backgrounds.
In fact, it has the same head writer as the UK show, so the majority of the new American show will still be in English.
The set looks very similar to the British show. In fact, it's exactly the same but different.
The new show is Builders, chock full of high adrenaline action entertainment, and so it's taped in a big aircraft hangar, with lots of people standing about for hours on end, awkwardly wondering when they can go to the bathroom.
The 3 new hosts have been transplanted from other areas of the sport and entertainment worlds into the world of Top Gear.
We're not sure about this bit. What do you think of Adam Ferrara?
He is actually quite funny off camera, and kept the audience in stitches during the gaps between filming, with his anti-British ad-lib rhetoric.
He even knew who won the American Revolutionary War, and who came second. I can see why someone with absolutely no knowledge of Top Gear would hire him.
But as soon as the cameras turned on, and he was given something scripted to say, he just switched off and turned into a gibbering buffoon.
He's a stand-up comedian, one of those, look at me I'm really cool types. And, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to gel well with the other hosts.
What do you think of Rutledge Wood?
Well, he looks like a rejected extra from the movie Wayne's World. It's very hard, and I mean very hard, to take him seriously. He looked positively embarrassed to be on camera, as in red-faced blushing embarrassed.
As a racing analyst, he's really a professional fan, and this is all you get. He's one of those annoying people who can talk endlessly about nothing, using trivia no one actually cares about.
In Top Gear parlance, he's an anorak. Maybe, with a professional makeover and some better co-hosts he might work out, as he appears to be a genuine Top Gear fanboy, and was the only one of the 3 who actually seemed sincere.
Lastly, there's Tanner Faust. He's the only one of the new hosts that can really drive. That was abundantly clear.
But from what I saw, I do not believe he gets Top Gear, and he definitely doesn't get the Stieg. In fact, he completely blew the narration of one of the Stieg's lap times by talking about the Stieg throwing up in his helmet. Part of the mystery of the Stieg is that we don't know if he has human bodily fluids or hydraulics.
We certainly don't want to have a visual thrown at us of the Stieg succumbing to the frail human notion of throwing up inside his helmet.
That's right. We want images given to us like David Tennant, the previous Doctor Who, peering into the Stieg's visor saying, "Oh wow, it's bigger on the inside," and continuing the mystery.
Faust clearly doesn't get any of this. Consequently, both the director and head writer ran out onto the set and beat him up severely.
With some rather large words. They were brutal enough that he didn't make the same mistake in the retake, which was just forgettable.
Remember, this is on the set with a script in hand.
What concerns me is that these new hosts are going to say some really, really stupid things off set that could be highly detrimental to the Top Gear franchise.
Another question is whether the US Top Gear will turn into an advertiser-driven NASCAR love fest.
After the failure of Formula One at Indianapolis, Bernie Ecclestone was quoted as saying, "It's all the wrong crowd and the wrong people." While I didn't see much evidence of the American Top Gear capitulating to the NASCAR world, it was clear from the on-set dialogue that the new host's world viewpoint is limited to driving round in circles.
We'd also like to tell you about the superb chemistry between the hosts. But there wasn't any. They missed several of the key things that make the British show really work. Again, the hosts all seemed to be embarrassed to be there, and this wasn't the first day of shooting.
Right. There was none of that, "We're failing, but we're British," or any of the self-deprecating bravado that carries the UK show through. Once the cameras were rolling, it was all very pedestrian, "Please like me," and that was quite boring.
Unfortunately, Ferrara, Wood and Faust don't hold a candle to the likes of Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert, who are the current benchmarks for American TV hosts.
In fact, the three new hosts' dynamic interaction was so bad that during the news segment, the audience didn't know whether to laugh, applaud, or fall asleep. They just kept stopping and apologizing, which just made things worse.
The audience, however, did respond with rapturous applause every time they thought it was finally over, only to be severely disappointed when the segment was repeated.
When you are forced to stand for that long, you need to be entertained, or you will want to go home, and it was clear that most of the audience wanted to go home.
Ann P.
On the other hand, I know the BBC, and I am actually confident that the 10 episodes that will air on the History Channel will be massively edited and presented with the same high standards as the UK show.
There's a saying in rock and roll, "We'll fix it in the mix." Well, the US Top Gear show is going to have to do a lot of that.
But whether this translates into a cult following and a ratings bonanza is anyone's guess.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for.
And on that bombshell, we say good night.